Y así arranca el primer sexto, la fábrica del día de la fecha, esta sección en donde lo que hacemos es hablar de la industria de la música y de todos los cambios que han habido en estos últimos años. Hablamos de cambios estrepitosamente grandes en estrepitosamente poco tiempo. Tengamos en cuenta que hace décadas nada más necesitabas de aviones, de containers, de cosas que muevan cosas para que a vos te llegue algo del otro lado del mundo hasta tu casa, ya sea un disco de quien sea. Eso ha cambiado y para hablar de todos estos cambios nos nutrimos de diferentes diálogos. Hemos hablado con productores, hemos hablado con sonidistas. Y hoy nos vamos para los Estados Unidos para hablar con los amigos de HEAVING que ya están en el aire con nosotros. Hi, my friend. I'm Manu. There is Raulo. Are you listening me good?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Excellent. I hear you. Excellent, my friend. Okay,
awesome.
This is what's going to happen now. I'm going to leave you with my friend. His name is Raul. He's a nice guy. He's going to make the same question we make all bands from all parts of the world. And later, we're going to talk about from the present of HEAVING, okay? Excelente. Nombre de pocas palabras.
Sí, no, perfecto.
Todo tuyo, Raúl. Ya estamos en vivo. Mandale mecha.
Dale. We are live. We are going to start with the interview. So please tell us your full name, where are you from, and how old are you?
My name's Tyler Spatafor. I live in Peoria, Illinois, and I'm 24 years old.
24. Bah. I'm over 40. No problem with that. Sí. And can you tell us which is your first memory of you listening to music?
My dad's a drummer and played in bands, so I grew up with music all over. And my first concert was a band called Breaking Benjamin in Peoria. So, yeah, my dad took me to... I've seen Breaking Benjamin probably like 10 times. My dad just takes me to see them all the time, so ever since I was a kid.
Wow. And can you tell us which was your first instrument? And which was the first song that you learned?
Well, I'm the drummer, so the first song I ever learned on drums was Brain Stew by Green Day.
Wow. And can you tell us, see, this is a kind of personal question because, I'm a metalhead. I love Pantera, Sepultura, Metallica. I'm older than you. See, when I was young, I have a black t-shirt, you have a black t-shirt, we are friends, no?
Yeah.
Breaking Benjamin and all that kind of music that you said, which kind of people do you met when you were young? Sport guys, musicians?
Yeah, so my school, I was like one of the only kids that listened to that kind of music. Okay. So ever since I grew up, I was the kid with black jeans and black shirt and like painted nails and stuff. And so, yeah, I was playing sports, I was doing stuff like that. And music was always kind of something I just did like in my room or like talked about with my dad or my brother. And everyone else around me listened to like rap and country and stuff around where I live. So, yeah.
Wow. That kind of things. We love to speak people from all around the world. Country and rap in the same classroom.
Yeah, everyone listens to those two here. Yeah, it's like everyone listens to either country or either rap, or most people listen to both, but don't listen to metal or rock.
This is the kind of things that we like because out of the United States we thought that people only listen to country or only listen to rap, but not they mix up. Perfect. And can you tell us, are there any places to study music for free, or you always have to pay in Illinois?
Most people do, if they want to study and pay for something, they do like private lessons. Usually that's at like a music store. So I actually taught drum lessons at Guitar Center for a while.
Wow.
And so I was getting paid to teach lessons. Some people go to school. In the US, there's like plenty of legit colleges for that. But around where we live, if you're studying music at a college, you're going to like a school that is like a math or engineering or a school like that has a small music program.
Perfect.
I went to a college called Bradley University and I majored in chemistry and philosophy. And so I haven't really taken like drum lessons. I didn't really study any of it. My bandmates like maybe have taken a couple lessons, but most of us were all just like self-taught.
Sí.
That's just how you have to do it here.
And I'm over 40. People older than you have a lot of influences from MTV. You are on your 20s. Where does the influence came from?
Well, when I was really young, we still had a little bit of MTV. So I definitely did grow up with like my dad having the TV on and like playing music videos. My little brother, he just turned 19. He's in the band as well, and so he didn't grow up with that. So like he missed the window. So yeah, it's hard. It was like we had a lot of radio and stuff, and then but like I'm in the exact generation where like I saw my dad be on a flip phone and use the radio, and then I witnessed him get the first iPhone, and we never had the radio again, and like all these things where like you kind of saw like that whole part of the music industry like get destroyed in real time. Sure. And it's like after that moment everyone was kind of listening to only what they already liked or like were able to discover. And I don't know, at the same time I'm also kind of grateful because it's like now I don't have to listen to the same like top 40 rock songs that are like not my favorite anyway. But yeah, it was mainly my dad taking me to concerts and seeing the opening band all the time. I love seeing the opening band. I used to love a band called 3 Days Grace.
Yes.
And I went and saw them at a smaller venue in Peoria here, and a band called Finger 11 was opening. And I hadn't seen Finger 11 or heard of them. I was like 10 or something. And my mind was just blown. I was like, holy crap, I feel like every song I've already heard before, but I hadn't. It just like connected immediately. Okay. And yeah, just seeing those opening bands all the time, I'm just so stoked on that.
Yes, support the opening acts. Perfect what you're saying. See? And can you tell us how did HEAVING band begin and why you put that name to the band?
Yeah, so me and our singer Morgan were working at a music store together, and our singer had like 4 songs that he wrote, and he recorded guitar and bass and drums on these songs, and they were awesome. And him and I were both in other bands in the scene here, but they were more like math rock or emo or like softer indie music. And we both wanted a heavy band in our area. We wanted like a metal band because there hasn't been like a good like big metal band in Peoria since Mudvayne. And so which big shoes to fill, but like we were like we wanted to be like Deftones or Super Heaven or Chevelle. And so we listened to these songs, and I was like, dude, I would love to like start this because in my bands I've always been the guy that is like going full steam, like pushing everyone, like let's do more and more and more, like I want to try to do this for real. And it just like wasn't working out in my other bands, but with this one I was like, dude, let's do this. And he's like, well, who are we going to get to play guitar? And I was like, well, my little brother, he's only 15, but he's good at guitar, like come on, just trust me. And then I was like, who are we going to get for bass? And our singer was like, well, Bowie that we work with at Guitar Center, he plays bass. And I didn't know how good Bowie was at the time. I jammed with him like 6 years ago randomly, but I was like, I hope he's good enough for this. And he just crushed it. And so we all learned those 4 songs separately. We all just listened to them. We got together to practice, and we all came already knowing it, and we just played them. We just ripped through all of them right away. And we were all like younger then, and I was just really impressed with like, I've never seen it come together that quick. And so as soon as we had that practice, I set our first show for a month from then.
Wow.
So we had a month to finish those songs. We had no vocals on any of those songs. So we had to write lyrics and melodies for all those songs, and we had to write like 3 more songs. And so in a month, we just like got it together. And then we played that show. It was like a house show in Peoria. There was like 250 people. It was insane. And I've always been the type that has a list in my phone of band names. And so I just keep this list, and I'm just saying them to Morgan while we're at work, like all day. I'm just like, greeting card, what if it's this song name, this name? I'm just like saying all these names. And I said HEAVING, and he was like, he like paused, and I was like, and there's a period at the end. And then he's like, oh, okay, yeah, that's actually cool. And I don't know, sometimes I regret it just because it's like, I don't want people to think of like heaving like puking or something. I don't know, I want it to be like heaving, like a big, like huge, like giant sound, like big, I don't know. When I think of heaving, I think of just like a huge boulder or something, like just something massive. And I don't know, I hope that's what comes across. But every time I mention it to like someone usually like any woman over like 40, I'm like heaving and they're like, ew. And I'm just like, okay, well, you probably wouldn't have liked it anyway, maybe, I don't know.
Excellent. In July of 2023, you released your first single, Distort. How was the recording process?
That was interesting. So like, one thing about Heaving is like, we have never had like a huge budget or anything. So for that, we recorded it in my bedroom here. Ooh. And we recorded drums with a buddy of mine for that song and for our next song, Zipper. All the other songs, though, we've just recorded in my bedroom. So, like, in my bedroom here, I have, like, the studio. I got, like, my monitors, I have some, like, crazy interfaces and mics now. Like, I've really spent an absurd amount of money at Guitar Center since then. But, yeah, Distorted was kind of my first time taking the lead on a recording process. I've never been, like, in the driver's seat, really. But I've learned so much from my old bands. I was like, we can figure this out. And Morgan taught me a lot at first, too. And, yeah, we figured those ones out. And then since then, I've been putting drums in my bedroom here. And I've been setting up, like, 16 microphones in my little bedroom here. And I don't know. It's paid off so far. I'm really happy with everything we've put out. But it's a lot of work. But it's really fun to have control of it. And also, I love the chance to give myself and my guitarist and bassist and everybody the chance to retrack over and over and over. So we just have endless amount of time. We can take our time and like record something, and then 2 days later, if we're like, it's not really the vibe, we can redo it.
And last month you released your last single, If I Cried Out. Is the same more or less in your room and you playing?
So Faces of You and If I Cried Out are two most recent singles, as well as our third new song, which drops on Wednesday. Those three songs we did in my room here, but with the drums. There's a band called Hum. Have you heard of Hum? So, yeah, Hum is their big inspiration for us. They are from Champaign, Illinois, which is not far from us. So we drove like an hour and 15 minutes to their studio, and we recorded just the drums at their studio. And so I've always been a big fan of their drummer and their drum sound and stuff, legendary. So we went there and got to record with them. Matt Talbot from Hum was there and everything. It was awesome. But they, I think the newest songs are definitely like the most accurate representation of what we want to sound like. I think they're a big step up, partly because the drum sound is better. We also just dialed in our writing and our sound a lot more. We did a lot more layering and stuff, so the songs are like very dense. So there's like 200 tracks on every song. It's just very, very big in that sense.
Wow. Manu, ¿tenés alguna pregunta? Pues yo tengo 1000 preguntas.
No, yo te quería pedir si puedes, can you translate a little from all that?
Todo lo que fue diciendo, sí, perfecto. I'm going to make a little translation for the Spanish listeners. Sí, estamos hablando con Taylor, con el baterista de la banda HEAVING. Bueno, nos contó que el padre es baterista, tiene un hermano que también está tocando la guitarra en el grupo. Bueno, y nos contó toda su experiencia en la adolescencia. Que, también nos contó que hay gente, tenían en el mismo grupo de amigos gente que escuchaba country, que escuchaba rap. Bueno, él fue muchas veces a ver Breaking Benjamin, que es una banda que es de las favoritas del padre, y una de las cosas también muy importantes que nos dijo, que él siempre va a ver a los grupos soportes, o sea, va temprano a los shows y ve todo, y ahí es a donde descubre mucha música. La banda empezó con un proyecto cuando él se juntó con el cantante. El cantante tenía 4 canciones y así empezó, y todo el proyecto, todas las canciones las graban ellos en la habitación de Taylor, que tiene un estudio montado. Y ahora está yendo para las últimas canciones, los últimos singles, está yendo al estudio que queda 1 hora y cuarto donde viven ellos, de la banda HUM, que es en donde grabaron las baterías, y después todo el proceso lo siguieron haciendo en la habitación de él, en el cuarto. Pero lo que dice que es interminable el proceso, que tiene como 200 tracks metidos en cada canción, que el proceso, o sea, tienen una cantidad de layers, de capas en las canciones que es tremenda.
Qué memoria, Raúl. Bien ahí.
Más o menos.
Bien ahí.
Tengo todo escrito.
We've talking from almost 15 minutes and we still haven't they say the word groove, you know. As a drummer, how important is groove to you? Because a lot of drummers focus on speed and the technically, but some of the heavy moments, you know, in music and canning and you know that kind of music, Defton, hearing too, aren't necessarily the fast, you know, the fastest one. Do you think groove can be heavier than speed?
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe it's just like my skill set, but I think I've never been one that really loves to just like do blast beats or like double kick or like this crazy fast stuff. I'm like working on it all the time, and I definitely the new stuff we're writing, there's like some moments of that. The new song that's about to drop, there's some like double kick moments, but there's, I don't know, I'm just not super attracted to the crazy fast stuff in heavy music. For me, I really like, when I was younger, I kind of realized like, oh, something like hits me harder when it's big impacts and it's slower, where like a band like Loathe or Deftones or something, when they do these big like hits and then pause and then another big hit, that almost feels like more brutal to me than crazy fast blast beats. We also just like are the kind of band where we care so much about like the melody and the catchiness and the vocal and that kind of stuff. For me, at least, it's like maybe it just doesn't come into my brain to play crazy fast stuff. In a song like Faces of You, there's definitely, I'm playing a lot of fast stuff and I'm doing fast fills, and I'm so tired by the end of that song. Like there's a lot going on, but at the same time, it's like everything I write is trying to work with the groove, and I think I have one of the most awesome bassists in the world, and I'm able to just talk with him. Like when we're writing, I'll be thinking of something and I'm like, dude, I'm really picturing you playing along with this, and he'll just nail it. Sometimes he's like, I feel like I need something like this, and I'll play to him. Sometimes we don't even talk about it, and it just happens. And sometimes the coolest moments are where we play stuff that's different from each other and then come back together. And but yeah, I feel like in my head it's so like groove centric, and anywhere that there isn't some like hard hitting melody or groove, that's when I take that little space and I try to fit a ton of notes in there to keep it interesting. But for the most part, yeah, it's all about groove.
Espectacular. Wow. Sí, espectacular, Manu. Me parece que justo es con las ganas que tenía. Estamos entrevistando un heavy metal nuevo, que es lo que por eso le voy a.
Claro.
Sí. I'm going
sí. Would you say that most of your songwriting happens in the rehearsal room or in DST and virtual instrument and that kind of shit?
Lately, when we started, it was a lot of just us in the garage, like just playing the songs. I think our songwriting has like improved over time, and partly it's because we do the kind of annoying thing where we sit at the computer together and someone plays an idea, but a lot of times one of us will send something where it's like a minute long, and they've already, like Morgan, our singer, all the time will send something where he recorded guitar, drums, and bass, and it's like a minute long, and it has like a chorus and a verse, and it really is like a fleshed out vibe and idea, and like the emotion is there and everything already. And then we sit in front of the computer together, we retrack every part, we dissect it, and then we start expanding and we write more. And we end up doing that over and over and over all the time, to where I have like 20 demos that are just like unfinished songs, where every time we get together, it's like, okay, let's pluck one of these and just like keep going. And eventually those will all be finished songs, and then we'll just pick like the best 10 or whatever and be like, okay, how do we do an album out of this? But the new song that is releasing on Wednesday, our bassist actually wrote the bulk of it, and he plays guitar too. So he wrote guitar and bass, programmed some drums. And I was like, dude, this is amazing. Like, can you come over tomorrow? And he just like came over, and we re-recorded. It was just him and I, and he was just playing it, and I got on my electric drum set, and we were just playing, and I changed up the groove. I changed up this, and it was like, okay, we got a bunch of sections. We just tracked it all. And then I bring in the rest of the band. We all get together. That's when we really make it sound like us. like my little brother, he adds all the weird noises, and our singer, he adds some like breakdown moment or something. Like we all just like contribute in our little ways. And the weird thing about Heaving is we get the instrumental pretty much totally done, and then we add vocals. So there's no vocals till the end, and then our singer kind of just like mumbles lyrics and stuff, and he mainly focuses on mumbling melodies, and then usually I'm like, oh, I hear this word and I hear this word sticking out, and it's just like the subconscious just like picking what it wants to hear. And then eventually we flesh out just like a concept, and we dial it in, and then the weird part is we sit on it for like so long, and we just go back to it for like months, and we just keep tweaking and changing it to a level that it's like annoying and like almost like hurts my heart, the fact that like I can't just like call it done yet. But I'm really happy with how these 3 songs came out. This new EP we're doing is like my most favorite stuff I've ever been a part of. So I'm not upset about the process. Just while you're in it, it gets rough.
Excellent. See, I like to talk with you because I'm an old metalhead, and I think you are a new metalhead. See, we have 3 more questions, 4 preguntas más, Manu, pero le quiero hacer una pregunta because I came from the metal from the 90s, you know, and for me, Pantera is the aggressive one, and Alice in Chains is the dark and the sad one. Breaking Benjamin and that kind of things, it's aggressive, and you speak with Manu about the speed, you know, and I like because you say I don't play too fast. The blast and that kind of things, it's faster, you know. Mm-hmm. For me, that is all new. What do you think about that period, you know?
Yeah, I mean, like Pantera Walk is like one of the first songs like my dad showed me for like heavy music, and like that kind of stuff is like groove to me. That is like, they're not playing insanely fast, but also part of that is because like now I'm growing up in the generation where like I go on Instagram and every video of a drummer is someone being and it's like it's insane. And I think it's just because the spectrum has just widened across the board in every direction. As far as genres and stuff, like you can still find bands that are doing the Pantera thing. You can find bands that are trying to copy Metallica, but also you have bands like Peeling Flesh that are just like absurd, and you have bands that are crazy fast in the speed metal. You have bands like Loathe that are like bringing in this like Renaissance artsy like weird vibe too, but it like works so well. You're just finding all of these niches, all these genres that are cropping up, to where like when I get asked about groove and speed and stuff, it's like when we put that Faces of You song out, so many people were like, holy crap, like you're going so fast. In my head, I'm thinking like, I'm not fast at all, because like when I compare myself, it's part of the pitfalls of social media that sucks. It's like when I compare myself to other drummers, I'm so slow. I also have no groove. I minimize myself in every category. But when you just take the song for what it is, it's like, okay, this is actually doing so many cool things. I think Breaking Benjamin fits into a weird spot too, where it's like there's a reason that me as a young person was able to like catch on to that so well, and it's because it is so like they are writing like almost like pop songs in a rock format. Like they're so catchy. They're doing 3 or 4 choruses in a song. It's like verse, chorus, bridge, chorus. And it's like, that's not what Heaving is trying to do. But like when we do write a chorus, we're like, how can we make this as catchy as the catchiest Breaking Benjamin moment? How can we make this heavy part hit like Pantera or Metallica? How can we make it weird like Meshuggah? How can we like add noises like Loathe does? Like we're pulling all those influences. But yeah, it's definitely interesting just seeing like the stuff my dad listens to, and how like I'm almost jealous sometimes, because it's like my dad is able to like accept an amount of simplicity and like emotion and stuff. Like he loves Breaking Benjamin, Chevelle, Deftones, Thrice. He loves these bands that like now when I listen to them, just because of like TikTok and ADHD brain now and like attention spans, it's like I listen to those and I love it. I grew up on it. but also it's like, it's almost not busy enough. It doesn't like get my heart rate up as much as like the new stuff people are doing, where it's like every 4 seconds, it's a different noise and effect and stuff. I don't know if I love that or hate that, because I genuinely do love this new music people are breaking into, but also it's like, it feels like it's almost like trying to leave the like Alice in Chains stuff in the dust, but like we need to keep that alive too.
But you give exactly the answer that I need, because for me it's up to YouTube, you know, and now you add Instagram and TikTok. That is enough for me. Perfect what you're saying. Thanks for the explanation. It's good for me to hear that. Two more questions. Can you tell us something about the future plans of HEAVING?
Yeah, so we have some really cool stuff in the works, actually, that I'm not allowed to talk about yet. But we're about to drop our last part 3 of this 3-song EP we're doing on Wednesday. And I'm really excited about it because it's this new kind of idea we're doing where it's like a closed loop thing. So it's like we drop Faces of You and we drop If I Cried Out. If you listen to those back to back, they actually flow seamlessly into each other. So the audio and the music videos for those 2 songs flow seamlessly into each other. If I Cried Out and this new song also flow seamlessly into each other. And then this new song flows back into Faces of You, the first song. So all 3 songs flow into each other and back around, and the music videos do the same thing. So it's supposed to be like an audio and visual infinite loop where you can put all 3 songs on and you can hit the repeat button and it'll just flow and you won't even be able to tell like where you're at. Like it'll just, like each song is such a different vibe. Like they all have their own, like Faces of You is the more like early 2000s emo post-hardcore thing. If I Cried Out gets a little more metal, a little more new metal vibe. And then this new song we're dropping on Wednesday is more of a, I don't know, it's brings back more of that Deftones Chevelle Super Heaven vibe, but it also gets weird in there, and it's very like, it's trying to be like a little more catchy and like anthemic and more ballady. And it's more emotional too. I think maybe that song, that's my favorite of the 3, the new one. Also, it's maybe means the most to me. But I'm really excited to release these. And then in the background, we're working on our set. We have a release show here in Central Illinois soon, and we're trying to get out there and just like tour and stuff. But in the background, we're also working on new music all the time. We really want to, I mean, the dream is to do like an album, but it's so hard nowadays. And like everyone you talk to is like, don't do an album until you have 100 million monthly listeners or whatever. And it's like, but to me, it's like the album is king. That is like, there's no successful band that I love that doesn't have an album. Like, like there are bands that I love that just have like an EP or single or whatever, but there's no band that is in my top 20 like favorite bands that doesn't have an album that is just killer. Like that is the most important part of music still. That's one thing that is like a format that maybe is like from the past that like people don't want to keep doing, because like now with streaming and stuff, it's like there is no mold. You can do anything. Like who's to say what is the right way to release music? But that's one thing that I think we really need to like hold on to and keep doing, is like the concept of a collection of songs that all like make sense together and have like a certain emotion overall. It's like, that's one thing we really need to like hang on to and not let die. And part of it is just my own listening habits. I'm not the type to make a playlist. I don't do that. Like I get in the car and I pick an album and I click play from the beginning every time. And it's weird that like most of my friends and like people I grow up around don't do that anymore. They put on a single, they shuffle between a million different like moments and playlists, and I don't know. It's just my dream to have like an album that makes sense and is actually like just good the whole way through. Because it's like, I mean, part of it was like back in the 90s, like there was so many bands getting signed where the label was like, hey, you need to have 2 good songs and the rest can be kind of garbage, but we need those 2 great singles to sell this record. That's part of the flip side too, is now with streaming, it's like, if you're gonna do an album, all the songs need to be great. Or like or you're just losing out on like streams and attention in this like attention economy we had. So like there's pros and cons to every aspect of where the industry's at now.
Excelente.
Me encantaría hablar con él en unos años y ver si sostienen todo esto de los videos y eso. Decirle, por favor, decíselo que no. Decíselo, por favor.
Manu wants to know, we want to know if maybe we can talk again in 10 years and see what you are saying about all this.
Yeah, because I don't know what's going to happen. We're all gonna
okay.
When I talk to you in 10 years, I mean, the album might be completely destroyed or it might be going stronger than it. I feel like there's like, in my generation especially, with like how like against like AI and this culture of like tech being used to just like steal your attention at every turn, it's like I wouldn't be surprised if my generation like kind of cultivates and like starts this uprising of like, let's get back to having our attention spans back. And like I would love to be able to sit down and like read a book again the way that I used to. And it's like I'm obviously just like so busy, but I also just like it's hard to like get back into those things. And I think my generation, like none of us want to sacrifice our phones, but we all acknowledge that like if we all gave up our phone at the same moment, it would be better for us. Like it's just that we don't want to be the only person without the phone. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And so it's like, I don't know, in 10 years I'll be speaking to you all through like holograms probably and it'll be weird, but like I don't know, we'll talk about it and hopefully there's like 3 awesome Heaving albums out by then and hopefully we can help bring it all back.
Excelente.
Muy bueno. Thanks for your explanation. Muy bueno. Sí. I'm going to have my.
¿Con qué nos vamos?
My own.
¿Con qué canción nos vamos?
Sí, Manu, mejor que tenga, por lo menos, at least I want to have intelligence in some years. At least that. Sí, we are going to finish with Tremor Beneath My Skin. Okay, we are going to play that song.
Awesome. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's one that was back when Tremors Beneath My Skin was a song that we recorded entirely in this room. So my bedroom was packed full of drums. That one is entirely coming out of this bedroom I'm sitting in right now, which is really fun.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Sí, Trevor, it's been Taylor, amazing to speak with you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Llévatelo, Raúl, todo tuyo.